Well, today I'm gonna take a class on bonding. It's a very important topic. Let's start the first slide of this topic. Well, first types of bonding. Bonding, we know the attraction force by which the particles are held together, and this bonding can occur basically in three ways. These are ionic bonding, covalent bonding, and metallic bonding. Well, ionic bonding occurs between metals and non-metal particles. Covalent bonding always occurs between non-metals, and metallic bonding occurs between atoms of metals. In the figure, the examples which we see in our daily life are shown. Well, I'm going to change this slide because already we have learned about these topics in O levels. This is advanced level. So we have to learn more about bonding in these topics. First of all, how this ionic bonds formed. As I told, ionic bonding always happens between metal and non-metal particles. Here in the left side, very brief notes are given. You can just go through these notes. I am showing how it happens. First, sodium metal. Sodium is an atom of metal. We know that metal contain 1, 2, or 3 electrons in their outermost shell. So to fulfill its outermost shell, that means to complete its octet, it tends to lose the electrons. Here sodium will lose the outermost shell electron, and as a result it will be transformed into a positive ion. Well, in case of non-metal like chlorine, chlorine is a group 7 element, so it should have a 7 electron in the outermost shell. To fulfill its octet, it will gain electron, and that electron must come from the metal atoms. Here chlorine will gain 1 electron, and after gaining that electron it will get 8 electron in the outermost shell, and it will achieve the configuration of argon. So by this way, when sodium and chlorine will come closer, this happens, which is shown clearly in the picture. Sodium loses electron and chlorine gains that electron. As a result, sodium is positively charged and chlorine is negatively charged. Well, so we know that opposite ions will attract each other, and by this attraction force the ionic bonds are formed. Ionic bonds are always also called is formed by the opposite ions. It is, and here electrostatic attraction force occurs between a metal atom and a non-metal atom. Okay. Let's see the next slide. As I told, that ions have 1, 2, or 3 electrons in the outermost shell, so it will always tend to be positively charged. And group 7 element, group 5, 6, and 7 elements, these are non-metals basically, so they will gain that electron, and as a result it will be negatively charged. Group 8 or 0, they usually do not form any bond, so losing or gaining electron is not applicable for them. And for group 4 elements, they will neither gain electron nor lose electron, so it is also not applicable for group 4 elements like carbon. Well, representing ionic compounds, if we see the internal structure of ionic compounds, they are always macromolecular. They will also form giant molecular structures, and each sodium atom will be surrounded with 6 chlorine atom, and each chlorine atom will be surrounded by 6 sodium atoms. By this way, they will form a very giant molecular structure, which they should have a crystal-like structure which we see in the table solved, like sodium chloride. Well,